Purple Revolution man changed his name to Restoring Old America, and now the truth is out. Just like I told y'all in the beginning, this man has not left the right. He is the right. What he was doing was simply peeking his head out of the door to let us know, hey, these people have guns and they blow shit up for fun, and y'all might want to come and join forces with us. Because the whole point was not that they needed voices, it's that they needed expendable bodies. They needed shields of war. They needed manpower, so that they could overthrow the government that they voted in, the system that they have protected and still do protect. But now that it's not doing what they wanted it to do, which is protect them and fuck the rest of us over, now they want our labor to help them get it back to the way they want, i.e. restoring old America.
Hello lovelies, welcome back to today's episode. When you try to see this trend of purple revolution, how this white man came out to call black people to come out and unite for peace. After a lot of people came after this white man, he tried to change the twist and tried to say restoring old America, which is still something fishy. A lot of people are talking about it, not to trust each and everything he's talking. Let's get to hear them very well. Drop your thought, then we'll come back with more commentaries.
From what I'm getting from the comments is ain't nobody ready for unity in this country.
First and foremost, it is really funny that you're trying to call for unity and you are wearing a 3%er 1776 shirt. For those who don't know who the 3%ers are, they're a white supremacist hate group. This is their merch. And he is supposedly the architect of the Purple Revolution. But I digress. What else did you have to say?
Because everybody was all okay with who I was. Everybody was okay with getting behind me for unity.
Getting behind you for unity? If a CEO burns a company to the ground, and because of what he did, the employees for that company loses their jobs, their livelihoods, he cannot come back out and ask those employees to come work with him at another company. Those employees would never trust that CEO, because clearly he doesn't know what he's doing. Why would we be behind you? Your decision making is the reason why we're in this mess in the first place. You voted for that orange buffoon. You don't get to lead anything. What are you talking about? Anyway, continue.
For unity. Until everybody forced policy down my throat.
Why do you guys always say people are forcing things down your throat?
Okay? So because my policies align differently than yours, it's not looking good for this revolution now, is it?
Human rights is non-negotiable. Those policies that are different from ours affect human beings. And again, you're wearing a white supremacist shirt while saying this. So we kind of know what your policies are.
You're going to come here with a list of demands from me. When I started this, you came here. I started this and Badger started this. You guys came here.
Nobody came to you. You came over here to the left because you realized that the orange buffoon's policies are affecting you, probably financially. And we didn't come with a list of demands. We wanted to see if you cared about humanity, if you cared about other humans, no matter what they look like and no matter who they love. You expected us to submit to your will because you started this purple revolution, huh? Want to be a leader, but don't know how to lead. Want to be a leader, but can't take accountability. What you were trying to do, wolf in sheep's clothing, was try to use the left so that you can reach your goal and don't care about what's going on with humans. It was all about you, you descendant of dry turkey. While you're sitting on your page, you mediocre turducken, trying to chastise people on the left for asking you if you care about humans and asking about policies that would protect other humans. But like Maya Angelou said, when they show you who they are, believe them. And for those on the left, black people have been coming out saying that this was a dumb idea because you cannot trust these people, especially black women. And here we are. Right again.
Got on the internet to say that he doesn't want to talk about policy because policy is divisive, while wearing a 1776 emblem on his chest. Yeah, let's talk about that for a second, because this here is exactly why we don't trust you, sir. The year 1776 is literally the birth year of America's policy. 1776 was not the year of freedom for all. It was freedom specifically for white men, land-owning white men. That year marks when a handful of elite men got together and decided to write policy that would dictate who gets to be human, who gets to vote, who gets to own land, and who gets to be owned as land, as property. Oh, that wasn't just a so-called revolution. That was a business plan. Oh, and the Constitution? Policy. The Declaration of Independence? Policy. The system that said all men are created equal while simultaneously enslaving black people and erasing entire indigenous nations? That's policy in action. Baby, 1776 was the blueprint for every law that came after. Every Jim Crow, every red line, every prison pipeline. That year marked the birth of the idea that freedom is negotiable and that equity can be delayed, which is exactly what y'all are trying to tell us that we need to do for this unity purple revolution to work. So of course you would have that emblem on your shirt. So when you say policy is divisive, I need you to understand that 1776 was the division. It's literally the founding policy that split humans into categories by worth. So that shirt you're wearing is not about patriotism, it's about preservation of power. And that is why we don't trust you when you say unity. Because the kind of unity y'all are talking about is the kind that keeps us silent while it makes the rest of y'all comfortable. So let's keep it 100. You're not mad about division. You're mad that you're actually feeling the consequences of the policy that you've been voting to be enacted against the rest of us. The policies that you didn't think were going to touch you or negatively impact you. It wasn't divisive when it was working in your favor, but now that we are calling attention to how it's negatively impacting us, now you want to say it's divisive. Baby, policy is the very thing that y'all have been voting for that has been negatively impacting us for decades. And let's be 100% real. Y'all only want to change the part that are negatively affecting you. You don't care to hear about the other parts. You don't care to change the other parts that are impacting us, that we've been yelling and screaming about. And at this point, we're not talking about parties anymore. It's not red, blue. And let's be honest, we're not even talking about parties anymore. Red and blue, those are just polite cover names for anti-human and pro-human. And being pro-human is non-negotiable. It's that simple. The problem is that y'all cannot stop imposing y'all's beliefs and y'all's views onto everyone else by the votes that you cast that turn into policy that are then weaponized and used to govern our bodies, our rights, our freedoms, our wombs, our wallets, our food, our children, our identities, our existence. Yeah, policy is divisive because y'all weaponize it to use it against people who don't believe what you believe. But see, divisiveness was never a problem when y'all were on the winning team. But now that we're forcing y'all to look in the mirror, all of a sudden it's divisive. When it's a woman's right to choose, it's divisive. When it's black people wanting equity, it's divisive. When it's queer folk demanding the safety to exist, it's divisive. See, but when it came to banning books, bombing communities, writing laws that govern our bodies, suddenly we don't hear anything about it being divisive. Baby, that's not unity. And I'm so sorry, but the policy is the battleground whether y'all like it or not. And I'm going to tell you right now, the problem is also the people who write the hateful policy, the people who vote for the hateful policy, and the people who act like they want peace when that same policy negatively affects them. But we're supposed to trust y'all?
So this purple revolution is really just these moderates and these centrists. It's their latest attempt to create an escape route for these fucking maggots who now are looking for a way to run from the monster that they created. These moderates and these centrists expect us who live on the left side of humanity, okay, to just back on up. Give these maggots a plot. Give them some space so they can set up, hand them a megaphone so they can amplify their political voices. They want us to do that with no expectation of them atoning or deconstructing the harmful ideologies that they have that got us all in this position. It's political colonization. I think the fuck not. Right now, what we really have, those of us that live on the left side of humanity, is an opportunity to move this country to the left. You see these centrists, these moderates, those are your never Trumpers. Okay? Those are your, like, fucking Hillary Clintons and shit like that, right? These never Trumpers had the wherewithal not to vote for Donald Trump. They said never Trump. They did not say Black Lives Matter. They are Republicans. They're just not maggots. And I am fully acknowledging the difference. Okay? They are the ones that negotiate, these moderates and these centrists. They're the ones that think that you can negotiate on things like our basic human rights. So at this point, for them to save this country, send them home. Send them back to the Republican Party. They came over here seeking refuge. They got it. Now it's time for them to go back and work on their party. These centrists and these moderates, the ones that have the heart for these maggots, need to take their asses with their hearts over to the maggots and help those maggots that want to run stay and fight. And I may be willing to pass a little bit of information to a never Trumper, but a maggot, I never will. When you hear people who are left of you say things like voting for an establishment politician is only going to move this country to the right, they are correct. They are correct. That's why we should stand our ground right now and force the right to meet us further on the left.
I'm going to show you in a minute and a half why I have a hard time trusting this purple revolution.
If you're a leftist, I have a strong fucking message for you.
Not that, that's fine. Stick with me though.
Hi, I'm Hunter Howell and I want to be your friend.
And yes, I know who Hunter is. I watched a lot of his streams over the last year, before the election when he was really rooting hard for our current president.
Now, just because I lean right on some issues, we all can agree that our government is occupied by Israel, by AIPAC, by Netanyahu, by the IDF.
Yes, we can agree to that, and I think there were plenty of people talking about this even before the election.
And it's time for a change. And in order to make that change, we need what's called a purple revolution.
We're almost there. Hold on, you'll see.
We can go back to disagreements later.
What kind of differences, Hunter? What kind of differences are we talking about?
Petty differences aside.
And there it is. Petty differences. Now, when you say petty differences, what differences are you talking about exactly?
Some formal policy in regards to domestic issues.
Now, he didn't clarify which domestic issues he was talking about, but let's talk about a few domestic issues that we will simply not be able to disagree on and everything just be okay. Now, Hunter, I'm going to assume that you and me are alike in the fact that we are both white, straight males. But here's a few things. The LGBTQIA plus community deserves to be free and happy to love who they love, be who they are, and this includes gay people, trans people, the whole 9 yards. Women deserve to be free to make their own healthcare decisions and decisions about their body without input from you and me. People that are a different skin tone than us, they deserve to be treated with respect and have all the same freedoms that we have. Undocumented immigrants deserve to be treated with respect, given due process, and treated like they matter, like they're actual human beings. I could go on and on and on, but if those are what you call petty differences, those are not petty differences. Those are human rights. Those are morals that I can never compromise on. And this, and the way that that video and the way that he framed that, is why right now at this point, I don't trust this purple revolution. I would say sorry, not sorry, but respectfully, it's just not sorry because there's no compromise on human rights. And unless that's part of the revolution and part of this conversation, then there's really nothing we have to talk about.
Restoring old America. Boy, that didn't take long. If you haven't seen by now, Mr. Purple Revolution, he's hurt. He's hurt by the fact that people don't want to join that movement. That movement that we all said wouldn't last a week. That movement that was not based in taking any real accountability for what you contributed to our society getting to where it is. That movement that everybody could clearly see was not made up of anybody who was really trying to make a difference in this country. It was only made up of people who did not want to outright admit they were wrong and do not want to change their behavior, their way of thinking, anything. You see, you can be mad all you want about people not, accepting where you're coming from or not taking your apology at face value, but actions always speak louder than words. And to start off, the action of simply voting for this man, not once, not twice, but 3 times, is inexcusable because there has never been any secret as to what he stood for, what the party he is representing stood for, and what the people who voted and supported this man over and over again, what they stood for. All of this would have been perfect. This administration, whatever this country looks like, his presidency would have been perfect for you if those issues never hit your front door.
The fact that they will not be allowed by their daddy, right, to pick and choose which of his policies they like. So they don't want to slide completely away from MAGA. They just want to move her over a little bit, you know, because now they're being hurt by his policies and they don't want to be hurt by his policies. So they're saying, oh, we're being hurt too now. Democrats, will you please join us? Please join us so we can, because we don't want to hurt. Join us in stopping the pain that our daddy is causing us. It doesn't work like that. You won't be allowed to pick and choose. Oh, well, he doesn't want us to have Medicaid. So Democrats, please help us stop him from demolishing Medicaid. It does not work like that. He's literally picked every member of his administration based on picking loyalists, right? Who will blindly follow him. That is what he expects from MAGA. That is what he expects from Republicans. You guys are not allowed to pick and choose of his policies and executive orders you agree with and you don't agree with. And listen, I don't want these specific policies to hurt me and my kids and my parents. So MAGA, come help us stop these specific policies and executive orders. It does not work like that. You don't get to use us to stop your suffering. When we warned you that this suffering was coming, maybe you guys aren't aware, but your daddy and his administration, they just claim that they have plenary authority, meaning they could do, like they're saying everything out loud. They're saying they can do whatever the fuck they want, fuck all the checks and balances, and fuck what the people want. The idea that you still want to be even in a tiny bit of allegiance with this fascist regime is another reason why Blue needs to stand 10 toes down and not move at all. This would not be the first time that white patriarchy has requested of those who will not benefit from the victory to fight for said victory. You know, because black soldiers historically several times throughout the history of this country have stood on the front line, fought, died, came home disabled, and couldn't benefit from their service to this country in the same way that white soldiers did. You're not going to use us. We're not going to be put on the front line to protect your rights while you don't give a fuck about ours. It doesn't work like that. And for me, the weirdest part about this, right, is that as Democrats, as liberals, as leftists, all we really ever wanted was to mind our own fucking business and have everybody else do the same. But this administration said, hey, if you vote for us, we'll take rights away from the people that you don't like. And you guys were like, hey, me, I'll join you. I want to take all the rights away from the people I don't like. And now you think that you can put those same people on the front line to fight for a victory that you don't even want us to benefit from? Get the fuck.
When we try to see this time around, this white man has caused a lot of talk on social media. For him to come out to say that you want a people revolution, you want the black people to come out and join you to look for peace and unity in America because this system is not doing something good. On the other hand, you are proud to say that you supported this new administration. You can, whatever they are doing, you are okay with it. On the other side, you are trying to trick them so that they will look cheaper for you. Whenever you want anything happening in America, you always come after them to look for a help. On the other side, you are calling them trash, nothing, useless. They don't belong on this land. They should go back to Africa. You don't understand why they stay here till death. A lot of people are coming out to talk about this purple revolutions because you can't tell how this time around, when you started to see that things are not working well on your side, is when you always thinking the black Americans as your second options. You were saying that people are getting mad at you. They are bitter. They don't want to come to join with you. You don't understand what people are thinking. You don't understand why people are so difficult to understand this movement. Which kind of movement? Who knows you? You are calling out people to come out and do a movement of unity and peace. And for you, you are wearing this 1776 emblem on your shirt. And where you know the meaning of each and everything? When we are talking 1776, it's when white people have that freedom. It's their freedom season, their freedom period. They have that freedom to do whatever they want. They have that freedom to own slaves. They had that freedom to own lands. They have that freedom to cause anything, and no one will come after them to ask them what they are doing. It was a freedom for only white people. 1776. And you yourself, you know the meaning of these things. You know this white supremacist men who started this movement, and yet you are wearing this t-shirt. You are addressing us the way you think. You are showing us who you are. You are showing us who you be, where you belongs. And yet you are calling people, tricking them to come and join you. Do you think Black Americans this time around, they are stupid? They are cheap labor. Each and everyone will come out to look for the help for. You gain a lot of things through these Black Americans. This system, which is still running right now, this is what you came out to vote for. This is what you brought yourself for, because you thought that you are going to penalize these Black people. They are going to suffer in your hands because this new administration is coming back in your office. Now, this time around, you are the most victim. You are the most affected. You are losing your jobs. You are losing all those insurance, all opportunities you were waiting for. You are no longer getting anything. Now, this time around, the solution you have is to go after Black people to come and join you. Do you think they don't have any knowledge to see what is really happening or what is happening this time around? A lot of people, they are saying, don't think that we don't know your tricks. Don't think that we don't know what you are planning to do. Yes, we know we are always the most targeted on this land. Don't think that anyone, anyhow, will come out to call us to come and unite. United for what? We came out to tell you, don't do these things, don't vote for this, don't bring this popcorn back in office. You never wanted to hear anything from us. Now, this time around is when you wanted to hear our help or to hear our voice. Does it make any sense? No wonder this time around, Black people, they keep telling people, this time around, we are having our rest. You need to know that we know each and everything happening now. We know what you are capable of doing. We know all these policies you bring in place, your plans here and there. There is no any way you are going to see Black people coming out to protest, coming out to join with any movement for any change. If we want change, God will bring a change. If we want a change, there is any way we'll get a change. We don't want anyone to come out to advise us, propose us, anything. You need to know that you have your own community. If you are telling people they are hating this new administration and yet this man is a president, go and look that movement from your community, from your people. Go after them. Ask them that help you are asking from Black people. Why would you come out to be nice on internet to call out the Black people that you need their help, yet you still have white men? There is a lot of white men. Most of you, they are also coming after you because what you are talking doesn't make any sense. You are supporting white people's movement, white people's freedom of 1776. You are calling people for unity as if they don't know their history. They don't know in those periods where they got oppressed more and more. Guys, I don't know what you think about this episode, because after I came across this particular video, this people revolutions, a lot of people are pissed. Couldn't even understand how come a human being, an adult people will come out to trick people as if they don't have anything or any knowledge to think what is really going on. Guys, thank you for watching. Drop your thought in the comment section. Do you think this man, some people, they will fall for his tricks and join him? Why this man is bitter that people are not responding the way he wanted them to do? Guys, drop your thought in the comment section. Thank you for watching. See you in my next episode. Bye.